Stakeholders across civil society platform and human rights groups under the aegis of Center for Human and Socio-Economic Rights consider it pertinent to address the press on what now appears to be a lingering unease at the Lagos State House of Assembly following the Monday, January 13, 2025, removal of the immediate past Speaker, Honorable Mudashiru Ajayi Obasa, and the emergence of the new Speaker, Right Honorable Mojisola Lasbat Miranda. It is imperative to say we are not unmindful of the fact that Lagos State House of Assembly is a creation of the Nigerian Constitution with the prerogative to operate within rules binding on members of the House of Assembly. Our intervention therefore becomes necessary after careful observation of the unpleasant situation that has lasted for close to a month. Lagos State House of Assembly is an institution that is directly responsible to the people of Lagos State, who elected members to serve as representatives. The change in leadership by the overwhelming majority of the members of the House is indeed a reflection of how elected representatives should assert themselves within the purview, procedural, and legitimate essence of separation of power, which is a key attribute of democracy. The right to the privilege of the members of Lagos House of Assembly to choose their leaders or effect changes in the leadership when such became necessary and provided such a decision is endorsed by the required numbers of the House has never been in contention. It is indeed our expectation that members of the Lagos State House of Assembly must have considered the overriding interests of their constituents and other stakeholders in Lagos before the change of leadership. It is our conviction, and correctly, so that only bona fide members of the Lagos House of Assembly, who must be in the majority as required by the Constitution and rule of engagement, can determine how and when to choose their leaders. It is our submission that choice was made on Monday, January 13, 2025. It will therefore amount to declaration of war on democracy to continue to precipitate the needless crisis, to impede the legislative business of the House, and by implication, undermine governance in Lagos State. Why must Right Honorable Mudashiru Ajayi Obasa be returned and imposed as Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly? Prior to the removal of the former Speaker, Mudashiru Ajayi Obasa, his tenure has been tainted by a series of allegations bordering on corruption and abuse of office, for which the Economic and Financial Crime Commission, EFCC, under the leadership of the immediate past chairperson, Abdullahi Rashid Bawa, commenced investigation. Indeed, it is on record that the former EFCC boss interrogated the corruption allegation and was bent on pressing charges against the former Speaker before he was ceremoniously removed from office as the chairman of the Anti-Graft Agency. It was not surprised that the accusation of corruption against Right Honorable Obasa again reared its ugly head in the wake of the crisis that eventually culminated in his removal. It would therefore be a monumental act of treachery for Right Honorable Obasa to return as a Speaker with the barrage of allegations against his persons. We are of the opinion that the former Speaker owes it a duty to come clean of the corruption allegation rather than plotting to reclaim a position he has had the opportunity to occupy for close to 10 years. Except there is something beyond the quest to serve, Right Honorable Obasa should accept the collective decision of his colleagues in good faith. The Speaker of the Legislative Assembly is only first among equal and should be seen by any occupier at any given time as rare privilege and not an entitlement. More importantly, Lagosians expect Obasa to give peace a chance and allow the new speaker the opportunity to preside over the affairs of the House in line with the decision of the majority. Let Right Honorable Mojisola Lasbat Miranda be. We would like to reiterate that the choice of speaker is prerogative of members of the House. We call on stakeholders in the democratic process to demand protection for the new speaker, Right Honorable Mojisola Miranda, who must not be intimidated or harassed to abandon the cause of democracy and independence of the Legislative Assembly. Being the first woman to be chosen as Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly in over 5 decades of the existence of the state, we strongly believe that her choice is a good one that will deepen inclusivity, transparency, and democratic freedom in Lagos State. We call on members of the Lagos State House of Assembly to remain united behind the new speaker, who must reciprocate the confidence reposed in her with diligence and commitment to legislative excellence, for which Lagos State House of Assembly is reputed. We equally wish to warn those who are still unpersuaded that members of Lagos House of Assembly should be allowed to exercise their democratic freedom to desist from plotting against genuine democracy, which the recent events in the Assembly perfectly signifies. Any attempt to force Right Honorable Obasa as a perpetual and untouchable Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly is a huge disservice to democracy and most unwarranted on the collective integrity of Lagosians and the generality of the electorate. Moving forward, we are indeed glad that Lagos House of Assembly is fully back to legislative business after more than 3 weeks of unnecessary apprehensions. We urge Right Honorable Speaker Mojisola Miranda not to be distracted by distractors and selfish interlopers undermining democracy by seeking to obtain popular legislative decisions that became expedient in the desire to move the Legislative Assembly forward. CHSR and other civil society partners will continue to monitor the situation at the Lagos State House of Assembly. We remain convinced that democracy can only succeed when collective interest of the overwhelming majority is not subsumed under the selfish agenda of individual or group of individuals seeking to be the lord of the manor in feudalistic conclave. Our demand. We hereby demand that the Lagos State House of Assembly member must be allowed to exercise unfettered freedom in conducting legislative business. The Speaker chosen by the majority of members must be allowed to preside over the business of the House without intimidation or harassment. Lastly, why do we wait this long before reaction, Abi? Yes, it becomes necessary when issue of this magnitude arise. A reasonable organization, a genuine Democrat, have to study the terrain and ensure that you gather some facts before reaction. Though before now, we have seen people who have did media appearances, press conferences for, against. But as a registered organization that is a well-determined and grounded when it comes to activism and pro-democracy, we don't just come to the media or come up to a conclusion without concluding our facts. If you're asking me if there are fears of removing the speaker, I would say I don't have a reaction to that. But one thing is sacrosanct is that you are all in this state. We have had reports where the so-called GAC have reacted, where the so-called GAC of the APC have been divided because of decisions taken by the House. And we cross-check very well if there's any other law, by virtue of section 1(3) of the Constitution, that if there's any other law that is different with the law of the Constitution, that inconsistent with the law of the Constitution, that other law shall be null and void because the Constitution will supersede that other law. If there's any law by the party or the House rule, the truth remains that the lawmakers have a constitutional right to elect and remove their speaker. So, in which the basic demand requirement is 2/3, and if 32 House of Assembly member came up with a resolution to remove the speaker, in which only need 1/3 to elect a speaker, I don't see the reason why the so-called party is so interested in bringing back the individual for a reason best known to them. That for a reason best known to them. So the truth of the matter is that either they want to remove the new speaker or they want to bring the old speaker. Our position is this, that the legislative arm is an independent of itself. It's an arm on its own. They have the right to take their decision, and in which they have taken. If they have to upturn that decision, it has to be by the same house, not by external forces or the third party that will now impose their own decision or position on them. And that's why we say they are not there on their own. They are there for the entire Lagosians. Irrespective of the political party they are representing, they are representing Lagosians. They are answerable to Lagosians, not some group or individual. So why we wait this time is that we have to wait and watch the unfold scenario. And when we are coming up, we know we are coming up so that we will not be mistaken for taking side of anybody, as we are an independent organization and unbiased. So that's why we're saying, if they want to remove Mojisola tomorrow, it is decision of the House, not decision of the GAC or what have you. The House decided to make Obasa their speaker, and they did. They decided to remove Obasa as their speaker and bring another speaker, which they are entitled to. That decision must be respected and allow Lagos to move. And we are happy that the House has now gone back to full session. So that's why we can now say, we can now come up to speak. Not that when the issue was going on, we did not react. No, we have to watch with keen interest and come out to the public to make our position known. Thank you.